We choose distraction because we're not in alignment with ourselves. If we were authentically in alignment with ourselves, we would put our attention on what it is that we want to create, the life that we desire for ourselves. So if we're not completely in alignment with our true self, and we're a bit disconnected, and we're in our ego-mind identity, the ego-mind identity is always in search of something. Whether that's peace, or excitement, or entertainment, or whatever. So the ego-mind identity is always seeking, because it can't be at peace. So it's the ego-mind identity that is scrolling, right? The true self is whole and complete as it is, and it only puts its attention on what it is that it wants to express and therefore create. So the true self, when in real alignment, we would never doom scroll. We would never put our attention on something that we don't desire to manifest. So in other words, a real master only thinks about what it intends to manifest. It never puts its attention, which is energy, on anything other than what it intends to manifest. And that self-control and self-discipline and alignment with the true self is almost the definition of a master. They have conquered personhood. So in other words, they are in control of themselves. They're in control of their attention. They only put it on what it is they desire to experience and create for themselves. And someone who's in alignment, true alignment with themselves, would never doom scroll. That's just a signal that we're not putting our attention on the life that we want to create. Right? So if we find ourselves doom scrolling, mostly it's out of habit. Right? There's something about our life that is unpalatable, and we're looking to a way to get out of it, or to escape, or to find something, or to see something, or to filter reality in order to affirm our identity, which is mostly what doom scrolling is, simply filtering reality to affirm your sense of self already. So you come across something, see, I knew that guy was a bad guy, I knew that candidate was a bad guy, I knew that politician was a bad guy, or, oh, I knew that politician was great, I knew that politician was going to, or whatever it is, right? It's just constantly filtering reality to affirm our identity, but that's the false character. So the I am doesn't do that. The I am only puts its attention on what it is that it desires to manifest for itself. So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, some people jump in here at this point and say, I've jumped in, but some people jump in at this point and say, well, you know, I don't want to not watch the news because I don't want to bury my head in the sand either. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you say to that? Is it because I can feel you're saying it's like stop giving your attention to it, because it's like focus on the things that you specifically want to target, but then it's like this is what's going on in the world, and people are coming from a good place. They want to try and be informed. Yeah. So there's an activist in some people. So yeah, there's a bit of a soup of a thing here.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. But informed is influenced. So I think we need to stay away from the idea of I want to stay informed. You're just going to be influenced. So this is how I would or what I do, if that's helpful. My wife laughs at me, but the first thing I do in the morning is when I get my phone. I shouldn't say the first thing I do is get my phone, but in the morning when I first am awake, have coffee first. Double espresso, that's first. Okay, anyway, but I get my phone, right? The first thing I do, I don't check text messages, I don't check emails, I don't do that. I look at my weather app. That is the first thing that I do, because I like to see what the prediction is. It's just a forecast, right? But to see what the forecast is for the weather. I mean, are we going to get thunderstorms, or we get tornadoes here in Arkansas, by the way? So I look at the weather map and I see, okay, small chance of rain or whatever, or this or that. Okay, that's enough. So if I see that there could be a thunderstorm today and maybe I'm going to be running errands, I'll make sure that I have something that I can wear that is rainproof, and I'll have my umbrella in my car. That's the end of it. That's it. So I just want to know, so in case there's bad weather, I'm already prepared. If we did the same thing, if we just got a certain level of what's going on and then stop, that's enough. Don't obsess over it. Don't identify with it. I don't check my weather app every 10 minutes after that. I checked it once. That's enough. So I know there's making it up, a 50% chance of rain. Okay, I'll get my weather gear and I'll get my umbrella. And now I don't have to think about it. So that's how I see, and to me, it's just common sense, right? If we understand certain laws are about to be passed, or lockdowns are coming, or the dollar is about to crash, or whatever the hell it is, right? Or they're getting rid of the IRS, or whatever, right? Okay, I got that. That's enough. Now let me focus on my life. Let me focus on what it is that I want to create for myself. Period. This obsessing and this identifying is the issue. But it's also, like you said, you don't just, well, I'm so spiritual that I don't ever pay attention to the news. Well, that's foolish. That's absolutely foolish. You will have no idea what's going on in your local environment if you didn't just tune in and just see what's going on, right? I'm so spiritual, I never look at the weather. Well, why wouldn't you look at the weather? What if it's going to be a terrible thunderstorm later? You're going to be caught in the middle of it, totally unprepared for it. Maybe you don't even want to go out at 2 o'clock because that's when the storm's going to hit. So it's common sense. It's the obsession, right? It's the identification. This is when the needle goes in the wrong direction. We want to put our attention on what it is that we want to grow. At the same time, we want to be aware of what is going on in our local environment, because if we don't, it'll be to our own detriment. And that's really what that's about. It's just common sense.